Good evening. Tonight on Question Time, we'll be talking about a very serious cause, that is euthanasia. We have lovely guests tonight that stand for the party, the Dignity. Could you please introduce yourselves?
I'm Georgie.
And I'm Robin.
Nice to meet you.
We are the Dignity Party. We're a political party that are taking a stand for human rights and are campaigning for the right to dignity.
This includes dying with dignity. This is your life. And the fact remains that there are still cases that exist where there is no cure or foreseeable recovery for particular patients, and we don't think that, why should their pain and suffering be prolonged? So that's what we're all about to stand for.
We believe that it's time to take back your life, and change is happening and change is coming, and we believe that it's time to take control of your life and rights, and then also support others in theirs.
Tonight we are going to see Question Time having a debate between the political party, the Dignity, and people opposing the cause. Yes. So, hello. Today on Question Time, we'll be talking about euthanasia. We have four wonderful guests. Two of them, Florina and Kieran, are against euthanasia, and we have Robin and Georgie for euthanasia. So yes, what would be the first thing you would like to say? Why do you stand for this cause, and why do you stand for euthanasia?
Well, I think one of the biggest reasons that people are against euthanasia is because they see it as playing God, but actually 71% of religious people think that terminally ill or sick patients should have the right to die. And we firmly believe that it's like our life and our decision, and that no one else should really kind of be able to say when we can die.
Mm-hmm. And Kieran, maybe you could say, why do you oppose this euthanasia and this whole?
Well, really, I suppose it is assisted suicide as such, but the responsibility is still put in someone's hands. So I think it's unfair to ask doctors or family members to give them the responsibility to pass off his life. But there's the chance that although if there's been so many calculations done, or there's almost a definite chance that this person's going to pass away anyway, there is always that chance that they could be wrong and they could go on living a happy, healthy life and recover. So the fact that there is that chance, you're taking away that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And do you guys find that a person should be able to choose themselves when they want to go, and when they want to give up on life and when they want to say the goodbyes, or how's that?
I would agree so, yeah. And if they're not in a position to do it themselves, then it should be given to the next best thing, like a family member or a closer relative, or if not, then if there's definite, there's no chance that they are going to get better, then it should be put in the hands of the doctor, and it shouldn't be seen as wrong, because they shouldn't have to be enduring the pain that they're being put through.
As long as they don't abuse any other person's rights, I don't think that the law should be able to create laws to prevent people from being able to choose how and when they want to go.
Mm-hmm. So Florina, do you find that a person maybe being sick and being in this position couldn't really be able to logically think that he really wants to give up on life? Do you think that it's not fair to give him the chance to say, yes, now is the time?
But I think all people have dignity, and even the sick and dying. So no matter what happens to you, you are still you, and no one can take that for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Kieran, do you have something to add to it?
I think what you're saying, on paper, it does make sense that if it's in the situation where they are in pain, they're suffering, they should be allowed to go about having euthanasia. However, in real life, the logistics don't work out as well as written on paper. So there's room for exploitation. The doctor and the families, they need to be completely informed, and if they're not completely informed, they might not be able to make the correct decision. And also that's a lot of responsibility. If the person is not able to give consent and the family has to give consent, that creates a lot of moral issues. There could be other influences around it, there could be other reasons. So I just think it could be potentially a very dangerous thing to do for certain reasons, and also for like afterwards the kind of the ethics of it. It can give a lot of like after effects and create complications later on, so people can feel quite guilty.
So you find that it could be both hard for the family and maybe even for the person.
Yeah, but there's room for exploitation if this is passed.
I think it is like a very slippery slope, and there are lots of, I think each individual case should be treated differently and really like informed and heavily informed about definitely this is what they want to do and if this is the right choice. If palliative care, is not enough, I think that in terms of guilt and consciousness on family and doctors, I think the role really needs to shift from like healing to relieving rather than healing to in terms of just seeing it as ending the life. They're just, giving them peace at last from the pain and suffering.
So you find it as the family would maybe show more respect for the person as for giving him the chance to say goodbye and die with dignity.
And to go how they want to go and be remembered in that way.
And what do you think are the processes of getting ready to this point, of having the pill taken in, and what are the processes that the family has to go through? And do you think we should concentrate on maybe a study where we make not only the patient understand how the process works, but also like the family understand what goes through it and how they have to take it in and everything?
Yeah, there should be things like resources and stuff available for the family and friends of the member of their family who has obviously passed away. There should be things like counselling or like kind of groups where they can like explain and things like that. And then like a lot of places at work have compassionate leave and things like that. And it should definitely be like taken into account that these people have lost a member of their family, and of course it's a really difficult time because not only have they lost a member of their family, but they've lost a member of family out of choice. So we're definitely understanding of the fact that that's going to be really hard for them to make that decision. But it's a brave choice when the person has like no quality of life, for example. If they haven't got any quality of life, then it's not worth it.
So basically there should be a process both for the family and both for the patient of going through this whole process. And what do you guys think? What could you add? Why do you really think that this couldn't be the way that we could work things out? Like, where the process is also for the family and also for the patient, and why wouldn't that be a situation that could work?
I think at the end of the day, it's going through this process, the person that eventually has to carry out with the procedure, it's like they're playing God. Palliative care is enough, and people, like, you don't get to choose when you enter this world, so I believe that you don't get to choose when you leave. And I think my main issue with it is that if someone had any kind of sinister intentions behind it, that could obviously lead to horrible crimes, and it could like leave room for them being able to get away with it. So I think, although, like as I was saying before, it sounds like a good idea on paper, but there's lots of room for exploitation, and there's lots.
So you feel like it would be just an easier option to just finish it off and cut it off, right?
I think as we're going at the minute, I think in most circumstances the procedures that have been done in the current time work out quite well. So I think I believe that it should be the way things are done should be left as they are.
And Florina, what would you like to say, like maybe about the light in the tunnel, about being like a false light?
I think when you saw someone suffering, who don't know them, and that creates a world without caring and love.
So you feel like there's like less of the caring and more of that's it, let's put it in that shelf and not like fight forward. Yeah. Okay, guys.
I was just going to say that the last point probably to make is just that although obviously there are so many things that to consider, it needs to be a really heavily informed decision, all of this, it is working in other countries, like it's working in Switzerland, it's working in a couple of states in America and a couple of countries in Europe. There has been because there's been more care and information into it, because we don't want it to be just simply okay, well you're ill, we just this is an option, take we don't want to pressure anybody into going with this decision to go to euthanasia. It's completely a very personal individual choice.
So obviously the statistics show
Yeah.
and the statistics show that it's not something negative.
No.
Yeah, for the people that do really go into this process, that hasn't been maybe a problem. Okay, so yes, does anyone have something to add up? Okay. Well, hopefully one day we can come to a decision, and as we see, both Robin and Georgie had good points of having the statistics and showing that all these processes that have really been taking euthanasia seriously, that they are working and that no one really has a problem with it. And as we see Kieran and Florina saying that they feel like it's more of a putting the person on a shelf and not just going to the easy option. So yeah, we see both positive and negative, and hopefully one day we can have a result. And yeah, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye. After tonight's show, we saw very strong opinions both against and for euthanasia. The winning party tonight was the dignity. How do you feel? What did you achieve tonight?
We feel as if we've raised a lot more awareness of the cause, and hopefully shed a lot more light and facts onto an issue that is in a lot of cases misunderstood.
Yeah, we are understanding not just of the people we are campaigning for and standing for, but we really want this option to be available to those that are desperately in want of it, and it really is needed and relevant today. So.
Do you have any last words for the public?
Well, we believe that each case is an individual, and it should be a heavily informed decision, and it should be well thought about. But we just feel like the option needs to be there for people, and the suffering just needs to stop.
Also, if you want to be more involved with and support our party, we can be found online on social media such as Facebook and Twitter at Dignity UK, and you can see what people are saying about our cause and get involved in discussion with the hashtag Take Back Your Life.